We are wonderfully serenaded and celebrated as we listen to the wonderful music today. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to everyone who's here in the sanctuary, and welcome to those of you who are joining us on YouTube. We're really glad for all of the people that come and are so grateful that we can do it more than one way, and so we'd like to do that. So today is a really special day in Redondo. We've got an activity going on in Richelieu Hall after service, and we have the most amazing speaker who's going to come and be with us. She's going to do the opening treatment. If you've got your program, you've noticed that. And yes, she's here. She's actually here, so we're grateful for that. And so Dr. Sue Rubin, as I said a couple of weeks ago, does a really neat introduction for most of us. She's just a magnificent woman on this plane in every way. And so we're glad that she is going to be here and do this wonderful thing, and while Dr. Moira is taking some time off. And so as we welcome Dr. Sue, let us know that all is well in the universe, and we simply say, and so it is.
Hi, Andy. Hi, Sue. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Okay, so everything is in perfect divine order, except my earpiece, which I correct right here and right now while the beat goes on. So will you join me in setting the tone in the way that really works best, not only for ourselves, but for the world, in consciously being aware of that one presence and that one power, and of giving it a full attention, intention, and availability. I speak in the I am, in that which is expressing the divine nature of all of us. It's where we join as one divine family. So take these words and know they are your own words for yourself. Right here, right now, I take that conscious breath that reminds me that there is one life, only one life of perfection, wholeness, and completeness. And it is that which I am living, expressing, and being right here, right now. So I am open and receptive to its pure and perfect flow of divine energy, intelligence, wisdom, love, energy, vitality, and a greater opening and receptivity to living and being the truth of who and what I am. And so with that, I declare all things good and very good in this very moment, because this is the only moment there is. And in gratitude, appreciation for the words, the music, the self-serving of that which each one offers to this community, and for all who contribute to its well-being and ever-transformative intention, I give thanks, knowing this is so. I accept and let it be, and so it is.
Okay, this is my mic on, Paul. Thank you. We're blessed this morning to have with us as our soloist, you know her, you love her as I do, Roxanne Reese is here. So let's have her come up and lead us in our opening song. Please rise and sing, I Release. You gotta let it go. Let it all go. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go. Let me hear you.
Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggles, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. Don't you know that I release and I let go? I let the Spirit run my life. Yeah, yeah, I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. Yeah, I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yeah, say hallelujah. Yeah.
Well done. Thank you.
Both here in the sanctuary and to those of us who are watching on YouTube. Here's what's happening this week. Today, after the service, the teens and myself are going to be having a fundraiser. Out in the Richelieu Hall, there's going to be a silent auction where you can bid on whatever catches your fancy, and there's going to be a teen-led guidance guidance service. I'd really appreciate it if any and all of you could come down and support us and the teens in our hopes to make it to the new CSL, or Center for Spiritual Living camp, up in Oregon. It's going to be a new camp because of COVID. We had to sadly forego our old one, but we can't wait to go and see what it's like, and we'd really hope you could all support us. Tea and Inspiration with Dr. Moira on Monday is on vacation for several weeks. I apologize. Reverend Kathy's book reading is Tuesday, May 17th at 10 a.m. The book is Your Aladdin's Lamp, also called Your Inner Light. Check your program for more details. Yoga class continues Tuesday, May 17th at 11 a.m. Bring your mat and yourself and have a good stretching time. The cost is about $10. The Art of Life is a book reading on Zoom. It is on Wednesday at 9:45 a.m., May 18th. The book is shared online with all. Email us for the link. The meeting ends at 10:30 in the morning. Our Wednesday morning service is May 18th at 11 a.m. here on our YouTube channel. Our retreat at Arrowhead has 2 chatlets left. One suite can have 1 couple plus children or 2 adults in the suite, separate rooms. There are no single rooms left. Yard sale coming June 11th and 12th, sponsored by the men's group. Bring coat hanger and bags. Collection starts tomorrow. We take this moment to remind you that there are several ways you can donate to our center. We appreciate your presence today, and we thank you so much for your messages and financial donations to our center. Reminder that dial-a-prayer is 310-540-5242. New prayers are posted every Wednesday. And now, thank you very much for listening to the presentation, to the announcements.
Millions of stars placed in the sky by one God. Millions of men lift up their eyes to one God. So many children calling to him by many a different name. One Father, loving each the same. Many the ways all of us pray to one God. Many the paths winding their way to one God. Walk with me, there were no strangers after God's work was done. For your God and my God are one. Many the paths winding their way to one God. Many the ways all of us pray to one God. Walk with me, there were no strangers after God's work was done. For your God and my God are one.
Roxanne Reese, thank you.
Absolutely fantastic. We're glad to have you with us live so much. Good morning again. The topic today is to shift or not to shift. So I'm going to begin by asking you, how are you feeling? It's a rhetorical question. I'm not asking for an oral response, but really, how are you feeling? That's a really important question to understand, especially about yourself. And it's useful to just check in and find out, how am I feeling? Now, many of us think that emotions and feelings are interchangeable, but they're really not. Emotions are more of an outward response to whatever is going on around us. Feelings are deeper, and we've established these feelings, and they're not just of the moment. They are something that we reflect upon. So when you want to know how you're feeling, you might not know instantly exactly how you're feeling. Behind every emotion, there is not only a feeling, but there's also a belief. Behind all of those things, belief is at the core of what we do. Now, Ernest Holmes says that behind every feeling, we have this that's rooted in our subconscious mind. He also tells us that if we accept the idea, the emotions and feelings are a certain kind of thinking, then we can reduce as we contemplate, we can reduce that feeling, emotion that we're expressing back to a thought. And when we get to that thought, then that is what we want to know, because that is partly what's constituting our belief. So what do we do? And we contemplate those things and we talk about it, perhaps. That's what therapists do. They have you talk things out to try to work out what's going so that it comes out. And you get to say, oh, at some point. And Ernest Holmes says that that is what practitioners do. But there's something else that you do. Because what you actually reduce them to is a thought in mind, and then we can see how to change it, and we can get back to what he calls our spiritual reality, which is that core part of us that is always in wholeness. The work of science of mind and spirit is to have the feeling of divine presence and the emotion of infinite love. That's what Ernest Holmes says. Now, we never deny any physical facts. He hastens to say that. Nor do we hesitate to state what the spiritual facts are. We don't hesitate to do that either. But we do put it all together so that we bring it together in our mind as the one thing. Now, the remarks that he is making in this particular passage, he's actually directing to practitioners and talking to them about how to do what they do. So then he goes on to say that anyone who works with others and changes their thought, he says, you may encounter dogmatically opinionated, over-argumentative, and resistant people. And he says, don't set up a barrage of reasons and guidelines to try to change their mind. That is not what is kind. What he says is, go into a silent treatment and simply know for this individual that there's no resistance to the truth. And that's with a capital T. No resistance to the truth. He says, the cold statement, you are already perfect and the only thing wrong with you is a false belief, he said, will never heal anybody. He said it arouses antagonism, conflict, and the one who seeks help, though, must be received with compassion, with love, and with understanding and with tolerance, and never with a lofty attitude that I know more than you do about this. It's the kindness aspect. So, if our emotions are outward expressions, feelings are inward, emotions tend to be reactions. They tend to be responses. They're quick, and they may be gone. Feelings are lasting, and beliefs are a result of our feelings. I heard it said this way a long time ago. It's like an equation. A thought plus a feeling equals a belief. And the feeling is important. So, if you didn't have an answer for how am I feeling, maybe it's time for you to sit in contemplation with that question about yourself so that you know how you're feeling. I had a dramatic example this morning. Our family from San Francisco was visiting, and my granddaughter, who's been a little showing symptoms of a cold, and so she was a little subdued this morning. And she's playing, she's babbling, and she's singing in her own way. But this is what I noticed. She was standing, she didn't have a toy in front of her. She was actually facing out of the room, and she was just looking. And then she smiled just for no reason. And we say that she's a happy baby. And I believe that is so. She can be cranky sometimes, and she can scream sometimes. Usually it means she's hungry, she needs a diaper change, or she's sleepy, or she's sick. But overall, I could say that her feeling is happy. And she demonstrated that this morning for me, and I said, thank you. I appreciate that. So I invite you to Get in touch with yourself and see how it can be. Maybe this is what I'm inviting you to repeat after me for, because I know that some reactions, sad ones, whatever, have you ever cried at a sappy commercial? I absolutely have. That's not necessarily a feeling. It's just something about the way we're wired. But a feeling, we know it when we have a feeling. So I invite you to repeat after me. I am created to be in joy. I decide to be happy. I know that I am supported as I decide. I am grateful for divine law within me that makes it so. And so it is. Thank you all for being here today, and we're going to welcome Dr. Sue up to the platform.
And thank you, Reverend Catherine, and welcome again. Happy to be here with you again. And so to all
Too many things.
in the physical sanctuary, the welcome is extended from there to all those watching from many different venues. And so this is the time to continue in that developing consciousness of the divine as each and every one of us. It doesn't change. We are asked to truly agree with being its harmonious accompaniment to its nature. And one of the ways we can do that is through meditation and through mindful, conscious awareness. That affirmative prayer that says, not only do I know that there is only one presence and one power, but I know I am it. As Ernest Holmes said, you are the thing itself. So let's just take a few moments in which to deepen that recognition and to allow for an agreeing to be that which we are, essentially and fundamentally. So, if you will, make sure you're comfortably settled in your seat, because meditation is really about being in oneness with a comfortable body, a comfortable mind that is settling in from removing itself from the periphery, where there's always questions and speculation and what's going on and how is this going to work, and allowing for that all to be encompassed in spirit. So be comfortable in your seat and just at your own speed and at your own rhythm, just take a few deep breaths in and out, in through the nose, out through the mouth, and just feel everything settling in to what the Easterns refer to as that spirit which lives in the cave of the heart. In the cave of the heart, God dwells. And be still and know. And so just these few brief moments of taking my breath, my body, my mind, and treating it to the true nature of itself brings an expanded clarity, allowing for the wholeness that I am to permeate every cell, every atom, and every organ of my being. I know that human experience brings forth all kinds of speculation and questioning and the uncertainty about the future as far away as the next moment causes distress, particularly in the environment that we all share humanly these days. So this is the time that is not only an invitation to here and now, but it's the remembrance of taking that with ourselves wherever we go, that there is a place within me where in the midst of any and all uncertainty, fear, questioning, doubt, anxiety, tension, there is that within me, which when I take a deep breath and when I bring my attention to that spirit dwelling in the cave of my heart, it reminds me all is well. All is God. All is good. I feel that. I personally experience it. Right now, what do I need? In this moment, the ever-present moment in which we are presencing the power and presence of God, we're all fine. Nothing required, safely held, not only in the everlasting arms, but safe in our seats here in the sanctuary, or wherever we are, whatever time we are taking this in, virtually. How good it is to know in each and every moment all is well. I am safe. For right where I am, God forever is. I soak that up. I let it seep through me into every pore of my mind, my body, my soul. I feel God's presence right here, right now. feel better. How about you? And really, we can be given all the tools from all the teachers, from all the books. You've heard me say it over and over again, from every which direction. You want to know God? Google God. I mean, it's that simple. And yet, what does all that amount to, if not for the purpose of developing an upfront, close and personal relationship with the divine, to bring us to our own consistency of awareness, revelation, inspiration, thought, feeling, action that takes us where we need to be, not to satisfy that ego, that personality that will continue in its best efforts to keep us safe. That's not enough. I want to feel safe in the midst of the greatest danger. I want to feel solid in being entrenched in something that you may not see, but you see it by the way I express it. You see that, as that quotation goes, may I keep the sanity of myself and my soul, while all others around me are losing their senses. Boy, that's taking it very loosely, that quote. And yet, that's what it's about. So here you've been, most of you, I would speculate, for many years. Just if you've been here for many years, even dating back to Blessed Frank and Anita and Dr. Moira, just raise your hand. Yeah. So for heaven's sakes, if not now, when are we going to get it? That I can't continue to expect someone else to give me what I already have within myself in full capacity, and yet if I don't know it, feel it, sense it, energize it through my spiritual practices of knowing that beyond all appearances, God is I am, that is to me. Within all circumstances, God is I am. Within all circumstances, God is I am. And yet, do we take that moment? So here I sit, here I stand, here I navigate in my world, as you do in yours. And yet, to what extent, throughout every moment of every day, do I stand so firmly in that conviction that wherever I am, under all circumstances, God is I am? Or do I fly off the very tip of the earth because, and I'll give you a personal example. So I have not traveled outside of my environment locally for over 2 years. And you know that, those of you who know me. My last cruise was to Mexico and Central America for 2 weeks. And yet, packing together some things to be here, I decided to stay over for a couple of nights because coming in from Thousand Oaks, it's not pretty. And so I get to the hotel. The first thing that happens, go to check in. Where are my sunglasses? Forgot my sunglasses, digging around. And my son is a rewards holder of all kinds of hotels and airlines, so he upgrades me to a suite. Now, do I need a suite? I'm not traveling with an entourage other than you. And so it's like, fine. The place is fabulous. It's wonderful. And yet the architectural functionality, it sucks. In the bathroom, there's not a counter, not so much as a counter to put anything. There's a sink and a little mirror, and obviously the toilet and the shower. And I have put more mileage on traveling through that suite to get what I need, to place it where it needs to be, to do what I've got to do, than I've done in months, which is great. Not complaining about the mileage. So that's just one example. I go to get ready this morning, no brush, no comb. Too late to go down for breakfast, other than going in my pajamas. My whole schedule is what I'm saying. My whole familiarity with doing what I do the way I do it, in my place, in my home, in my hometown, and locally, why isn't that all rearranging itself to accommodate me? The mystery of life. Or do I stand there and say, drop everything and just stand in yourself? Yes, stand in yourself and say, wherever I am, under any and all circumstances, God is, and I am its living embodiment. Is this what that would do by means of me? No. So I hear the announcement, and of course, Dr. Moore has been a very dear friend of mine for many, many years. We were introduced through Reverend Harriet Foster. And so it was at that juncture that Reverend Harriet decided that Westlake Village Center was a little bit closer than Redondo, and her making that commute. So she did ultimately become my staff minister, nobly and lovingly handed over from Dr. Mora. And the friendship just developed with all of us, the Holy Trinity. So I know what's going on, and you've just been told, well, Dr. Moore is going to be away for a few weeks. Really? That's all you got? How come? What? Where? When? What's going on? So guess who's your messenger? So here's the deal. Number one, if under all circumstances, wherever I am, no matter what, God is, that line that extends the old metaphysical metaphor for the sign of the cross. The horizontal is what I do with the vertical, knowing who I am. That should be enough. That should be enough to say, good, she never took a vacation this year. What's up with that? So now she's doing it. She's just not doing it under the exact circumstances that we ordinarily equate with a vacation. She's having a medical procedure, okay? Can you live with that? It's in, it's out, and yet, because she didn't take the vacation, and because of all the factors that play into our experience of life and how we personally experience it, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and guess who gets to tell the story? Our body and the body of our affairs. You can't mess with this stuff. If you ignore the realization that we operate in unity on seemingly 3 different levels, mentally is our capacity to spiritually know our conscious and subjective oneness with God. And that's where the mind gets treated spiritually to that truth that no matter where I am, God is, I am, and I'm either I aming from down here or I am raising my life to the heavens and that of everyone around me. Oh, body says, okay, you didn't want to keep that appointment. You didn't want to take care of that. You're too busy loving and caring and giving and sharing with everyone in your world, except guess who? You. So it's at that moment that finally the physical reality of the ultimate reality that no matter where I am, God is, I am, take care of it. And so Dr. Moore will be having her medical procedure in and out within a very short few days, and yet the time she takes to determine whether she indeed is going to Arrowhead. All of these things, I know they're in your head because I've been asking her the same questions. So we all deal with uncertainty, and yet the truth is that could be enough to simply know whatever is going on, it's good, because guess who's working for, through, and as Dr. Moira? Guess who's working for, through, and as myself? Whatever you each are experiencing through this time, and I know there's not one of us that isn't experiencing not only our personal life, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially, relationally, in every which way, but look what the whole world is going through. It's enough to just have even that spirit in the cave of the heart just be sad and feel it. That's what feeling is about. An emotion you react to. You say something, I don't like it, I stamp my foot, I pout, or I let you have it. But the feeling I take and stuff, my fears, my doubts, my contemplations, my uncertainty about what is happening, not only here, not only with my beloved teacher, Dr. Moira, but with the whole world. What do I do with that? I say, and I say, and I say it until I really get it, that under all circumstances, no matter what, wherever I am, God is, I am, and I'm flying. And where I once might have been flying down here, I'm suddenly lifting up higher and higher because I get it. I get it from my soul. So whether she chooses to be at Arrowhead is entirely up to her. And if she goes, she is under strict orders to be the observer. You have, those of you going, you have such rich teachers from who to draw. You've got Dr. Mike McMurrow from Grenada Hills. You know him. Oh, my God, he's amazing. You've got Dr. Alice Reed. We once were together as Dr. Heather at Capistrano. Well, now Dr. Heather returned to Canada, and Dr. Alice Reed. Oh, my God, she's phenomenal. You've got so many of your own rich ministers, Reverend Catherine and Mary Morgan, and Denise will be coming in to do the music because I'm not able to make Arrowhead either. So that's a break in my tradition. And again, suck it up. That's the way it is. And under all circumstances, at any given time, in any given place, whatever is happening with me, what's the statement? God is, I am. Wherever I am, I get it. God is. And if that's not enough, what will ever? We are humanly greedy, hungry creatures. If I can compassionately and lovingly embrace and accept that about myself, then it's able to be absorbed in that fuller awareness of what really is the truth of being. So, much has been unpacked. How are you doing with that? Come on, let's hear a vote of yes. Because, you know, the statement is literally because to your own experience, because I am cause to my every experience. Nothing occurs in a vacuum. Everything happens through my awareness of how much I really get it, that God is, I am. And the differing levels and degrees of that knowingness, it's like equating it with being in kindergarten and then graduating to first grade and third and fifth and junior high. We used to call it junior high, and high school. And if you choose, you matriculate at college. Well, it's time to leave our spiritual adolescence and to really know, it's fine, Dr. Mora, my God, take what you need, and if you don't, we're not letting you through the doors. Right? Right. So, with that in mind, I have no concept of any time because, hey, wherever I am, the timelessness of God is. So you want to spend the day together? Great. I'll be hanging out. And I'm going to go treatment, a nice, prolonged treatment for all here, there, and everywhere. Because remember, guys, wherever I am, God is. So, with that in mind, I let be that which is. How simple it sounds. I simply let what is happening happen without forcing and pushing and coercing and manipulating and questioning and doubting. I let it be in its own form and shape, exactly as it is. I cooperate with the full capacity of the divine, universal I am that I am, to come more fully and ever more fully and richly alive through and by means of me, through and by means of the conscious recognition I get its presence, and for the full acceptance that lives in my very soul. My soul says, yes, thou art that which I am. I am that which thou art. And so I continue on the journey, blessing myself, my beloved teacher, minister, community, and I take full responsibility for claiming myself as a faith keeper of the tribe. Yes, as ancient traditions have claimed it. The group of people who continue to know that all indeed is well, for all is God, is myself, my divine nature, the I am which God is ising by means of me every infinitesimal moment of every hour of every day. I stay enlivened by the truth, by the conscious recognition that wherever I am, God is. I am. And so everything works together for the greatest good, because as keeper of the faith tradition of my tribe, I know it, I feel it, I sense it, I speak it, knowing my word has power. So to any question from anyone in my world, in my community or elsewhere, for any doubts expressed or uncertainties or, yeah, but, what if? I simply smile, take my deep breath, and quietly respond, all is well, for wherever I am, wherever that may be, under whatever circumstance. Circumstances are temporary. What is eternal, ever-present, and changeless is the realization that God is, I am, and all is well. I know this for myself. I know this for my beloved soul sister, Dr. Moira. And I know it for everyone in this community who steps up and says, go thy way and be thou healed, for thou art the most magnificent of the Most High, God itself in form. This is the truth for one and for all, for which I give thanks. I accept it, and together we declare our acceptance and gratitude by saying, And so it is. Roxanne, take it away.
So the ushers are coming down, and it is the time of our offering. And so, as we thank Dr. Sue, but we may hear from her again, yes, it's wonderful to have Dr. Sue here today. This is a special day, and we thank you for being here to nurture us and to love us. So let us return thanks by giving of our bounty by saying, divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper all those who give and all those who receive. I rejoice in the sharing of my good, and I release my gift with love. And so it is. Following our offering, or during the offering, we usually do our mission statement and then talk about a letter that comes to us as a response to that. Our mission statement is to honor your presence, to nurture your spirit, and to enrich the lives of all we serve. And so this is a very simple letter. I am grateful for this center for so many reasons. I'm mostly just grateful that it's open and that I am able to come. I am always spiritually fed, and I get a lot of music to nurture me and to visit with my friends, as well as the inspirational messages. Thank you for just being here. I think that's wonderful. Before I leave the platform, I wanted to just add a couple of things to announcements. I didn't know if Mark had anything else that he wanted to add. We had talked about his doing that. But the other thing is about Arrowhead. As you may have heard Stetson say, there are 2 chalets that are open. I mentioned once upon a time, it's really important if you even think you want to go to Arrowhead to get on a waiting list, because some people often cancel. And we've had a cancellation, so we now have 2 chalets, which is a family, husband and wife, and maybe children. And it is for adults. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Or a family. So anything that's like that you would willing to participate. And what we're all knowing is that Arrowhead is going to be as special as it's ever been in its own way. And so we invite you to consider that. And Sue is applauding as we're saying that. So, and now our wonderful singer, Roxanne Reese, is back with us again.
That is like no other. There is strength that will pull you through. There is God standing in your corner. There is nothing God can't do. There is grace that has no measure. There is love that has no end. There is life for you, joy and pleasure too. There is God, your closest friend. I just want to say, there is God. God is God is love. Yes, there is hope for the brokenhearted. There is peace for the troubled soul. There is faith in the one discarded. God is in control. is, I am. God is, you are. God is healing forevermore. Forevermore, I love you. Oh, love will heal.
What am I doing? What am I doing? Another blessing. Yes, that's what I said. Thanks, Andy. If I were Jewish, which I am, I'd say, oy vey. All right, so in the continuity of that which God is, I am, I let the beat go on. I let everything that has been said and much of what has not been said, the unspoken, is really what speaks the loudest through and by means of me. Is that not truth? Yes, absolute truth. I am cause to my every experience. I am that which God is, and it's every living aspect. I think, I feel, I dream, I envision, I intend for that moreness of that which God is to completely express itself through my awareness, my willingness. Someone said that the only thing to agree with, the only one to agree with, is yourself, the self with the big capital S. To bring all those other seeming versions of the small self, the personality, the what if, when, what, how, all of those, just to embrace that aspect of ourselves that worries and to say, shh, be still and know that I am the living God of self, that which thou art, that which everyone and everything is. And so I dedicate myself in this moment as a faith keeper of the tribe to lift this whole world, and yet I must bring the world into my own being and to know that just as I am one with the physical universe, I must be one with the varying aspects of my own personality, which really defines my divine individuality. So I know for my precious beloved teacher right here throughout my community, all of its ministers, musicians, all those who selflessly serve and give, all of the staff, everyone from sound to music to food to programs to virtual to sound, everything. It's all done by people who know that right where they are individualizing God is all capacity to do all good things. So I know that it's always been happening. It didn't just emerge out of a vacuum. God forever has been, is now, and shall forevermore be the goodness that all humanity contains. And so I know for myself, my community, our beloved pastor, teacher, minister, I know from that point forward throughout Ukraine and Afghanistan and Syria and all points and all places, locally, politically, economically, there is only sufficiency. and that sufficiency rests with the divine. Always has, does now, and shall forevermore be. The trick is I am aware of it. I am awakened to that. I am quickened to the realization from moment to moment to moment to moment to stand strong and say, under all circumstances, for myself and all people, all over, locally, globally, universally, planetarily, I know that God is, I am, and all is well. And so as never before, I take this into the very depth of my being, from the mind of God to the loving presence of God abiding in my heart. I accept, I give thanks, and we shout it to the very stars and moon and sun as we acclaim. And so it is.
Peace song. Sue? Let there be peace on earth and